everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say let.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me is the man with the buys, the man with the tries, the one with the broad chest, the one, the only, Rene Borba.
Yeah.
Good morning, Johnny.
Morning.
Ooh, audio is a little. Good morning, guys. This is Speaking Out Loud, coming out to you live from Roswell, New Mexico. It is February 2nd, the month of love, Borba. Beautiful February 2nd. This is Super Bowl week, so happy Super Bowl week to all of you. This is an exciting week for us, JB. We get to get hyped up about two teams that we really don't care about, but we got to figure out a way to pick a side. As the majority of the United States, I'm assuming. I don't know that there's very many. I don't know if we're around very many Seattle Seahawks fans or New England Patriots fans. So a lot of the people around us are trying to figure out who they are going to necessarily put their money on. As of right now, it looks like the Patriots are the underdogs, sitting at minus 5.5 points. Seattle Seahawks being the favorites. Game going down at Levi Stadium in San Francisco, California. JB, yesterday there was a couple things that happened. There's a couple things that happened over the weekend. There were some fights, as we talked about on Thursday. There was the UFC fights, and there was also a big boxing fight. Boxing fight that happened was Teofimo Lopez against Shakur Stevenson. It was the last fight of the night on Saturday. UFC finished pretty early as they're with their new Paramount deal. They kick off at 7 o'clock, so they allow older folks like us to be able to stay awake through it. The UFC fights were pretty good. I think it was in Sydney, Australia. Uh, Dan Hooker gets beat by Bonas Sins. I forgot how to say his name. BSD, the Frenchman, gets a big win, and then in the main event, Volkanovski has a masterclass on Diego Lopez and keeps his title. And then in boxing, Shakur Stevenson put up a masterclass against Teofimo Lopez. The question that comes out of that fight, JB, is Shakur Stevens the best boxer we've ever seen since Floyd Mayweather? And it's a hard yes, probably a hard yes, especially in that weight division. They fought at 140. Masterclass, as Cheech texted me. But just because you're the best defensive fighter in the world doesn't make you the most entertaining. Shakur Stevenson's, to me, still one of the most boring boxers to watch, although he is a beautiful technical science of the boxing type fighter or type boxer. But I don't know that I am going to pay to watch this guy. He, to me, every time I think of him, I think of maybe the Fire Stick Boys coming out. JB, I don't know if you own a Fire Stick, and if you do own a Fire Stick, I don't know if it's jailbroken. But if it's not jailbroken, Shakur Stevenson is the type of guy that you would get a jailbroken Fire Stick to watch his fights for. Not to knock on the kid, but that's kind of what it is. He did beat up Tio, though. I don't know if you watched it, JB, but he did beat him up, pieced him up, both eyes absolutely swollen. But it was kind of – you remember how on Thursday I told you he's one of those guys that calls himself a killer, and then in his fights – that doesn't necessarily relate to what he's – or doesn't necessarily match to what he's selling. And he kind of proved my point. He don't have the killer instinct. He's just a point fighter. Just tag, move, tag, move, not really ever looking for the kill. So I actually fell asleep there in the 10th round, and I had to go rewatch the last two rounds. But yeah, tough watch. I love watching technical fighting, but trying to watch technical fighting at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time starts to get a little rough. But JB, Super Bowl week. With Super Bowl weeks comes a couple of festivities, and those festivities are the Pro Bowl week. So let me pull this up for us, JB. Let's see what the festivities are. Dang, my bad. How was your weekend, bro?
It's all right. Nothing too crazy.
Stay at home?
Yeah, chill, stay at home, get some things done.
Had it, baby. Well, this is Pro Bowl week slash Super Bowl week. Today, we kick off with Super Bowl opening night. I know there's clips out there from the New England Patriots already of them kind of somewhat celebrating. Are they celebrating a little bit too early? Jay, the producer back there, are the Patriots getting a little ahead of themselves? It seems like they had themselves somewhat of a Super Bowl parade inside their stadium as they left New England. They had a bit of an exit. They said, goodbye, fans. We'll see you guys here in a couple weeks with the parade, hopefully. But today kicks off Super Bowl opening night. So tomorrow we'll react to a couple of the interviews that come out. There's always good clips. If we remember, one of the most famous clips is good old Marshawn Lynch, a gentleman of very few words, but a hell of a character. So hopefully we'll be able to find our little nuggies, which I think there already is one. JB, I don't know if you saw what's that dude's name, Jay? The little wild boy, the one that walks with no shoes all the time.
Collins,
You
Matt
know him,
Collins.
Matt Collins. Yes, that wild boy. He went on stage, did a little crazy stuff. Tomorrow will be the Pro Bowl games that kick off at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. That's 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for us here in Roswell, New Mexico. Pro Bowl games consist of what, JB? Low flag football. We get to see the pros in a little bit, or actually, my bad. It's just the Pro Bowl games, and then Thursday we have the NFL honors. Yesterday were the Grammys. I don't know if you guys tuned into that, but that kind of felt like it set the stage of what possibly the halftime show is going to look like. So, unfortunately, as much as we don't want politics to kind of sneak into our sports world, it seems like it may make an appearance this weekend, which kind of sucks. But move forward. um, Saturday, the flag football game will be on YouTube at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then obviously Sunday, the game of all games, Super Bowl 60, 6:30 Eastern Time, but kicks off locally here at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on NBC. JB, what are you most excited about outside of the Super Bowl? Are you looking forward to the NFL honors? Do you like opening night? You like watching a lot of these interviews, or do you enjoy the Pro Bowl games?
For me, it's the NFL honors. Yeah, and sometimes the opening night, with the interviews and things like that. But mostly the NFL honors. I can't even take the Pro Bowl serious anymore, so I won't be watching. I'll
Yeah, I'll
watch the
probably
highlights.
I'll throw a glimpse into the Pro Bowl just to. I mean, it's obviously going to be entertaining. And now you think about like flag football integrating into society as a whole. There's colleges that have approved it, so we'll see college football, flag football. That'd be interesting. I think the first one that they approved right now is women flag football, so that'd be cool. We should probably be seeing it a little bit more in high school in the next couple years. So for me, I'm excited. A lot of our friends that have daughters, I'm sure they're excited, especially because of how involved some of these folks are here locally. Maybe some people a little too involved. Maybe some people. And we won't have to say no names, but don't forget it's about the kids. But yeah, JB, we have a football tournament here in Roswell, New Mexico, and they just started kind of dishing out stuff. It's one of the biggest flag football tournaments across the United States of America. Sling it or fling it, also known as the Glory Days. That's gonna be exciting. That's Memorial Day weekend here in Roswell, New Mexico. If you haven't signed up, get your team together and come prove that you got some talent. There's multiple divisions. There's a money division. There's men's division. There's a college division, and then there's just a regular, good old amateur division. The guys with a very little experience but want to go out there and just get a good little sweat. That's also out there for you. But JB, what do you like about flag football? You enjoy it? You're a dog out there. You got that little dip that you kind of see some of these folks do on TV.
Uh, yeah. I mean, now that we're a little older, it's a little bit rougher, but we still go out there and have some fun.
Yeah,
But I
you're
think
coming
flag
off coming
football is
off a
good.
big injury. Coming off
Yeah,
you got this is your bounce back year, right?
I hope. I don't know. We'll see, man. I don't know. I've been taking it easy on that thing, on that hamstring, but yeah, it's a fun sport. Honestly, it's pretty fun. It's a little bit safer than obviously the physical thing, but it's still, it's still football at the end of the day. You still got to use your body a lot. It's taxing on the body a little bit, but it's a fun hobby to get into when you're a little bit older, out of high school, out of college,
Yeah.
it's something else to do. So, yeah.
What else happened this weekend? Well, it was the Senior Bowl, JB. Our boy Diego Pavia made his
Yep.
appearance. Not the greatest showing. I don't have his stats up, but I believe he went like 10 for 13 and it was like 87 yards or something like that. Were you able to catch any of that game at all?
No, I was just watching everything kind of leading up towards it. Didn't watch the
Okay.
actual game.
I went to go get my haircut. I got to enjoy the first half with my barber Amber. Shout out to Amber for cleaning me up and yeah, man, it's just it felt I felt like it felt like college football had an opportunity. I hate to keep making this about entertainment. I know yesterday we got in a little bit of a back, or not yesterday, but last week on the show Thursday we got in a little bit back and forth about whether or not college football should be trying to sell their product opposed to just present it. I thought college football had an opportunity to really sell the Senior Bowl, make it known a little more known with the personality that they did have with Diego Pavia. And I mean, 13 passes for him just seems unfortunate. It seemed like they didn't necessarily try to help out his draft stock at all. But from what I saw, JB, I mean, he played rather well. Took control of the play of the opportunity that he had, and there was a couple missed. There was a couple drops where they were a little bit frustrating. One in particular, it was 4th and 5. They're about midfield. It was a well drawn play. You had the tight end kind of squeak out on an out route, wide open. Diego Pavia scrambles to the left, hits him right in the chest, right here, right in the arms. I mean, I know you remember a couple hike and spike it years ago. There was a ball thrown directly at one of our friends' chest. Hits him right in the hands to win the game and seal a championship game, if I remember correctly. Hits him right in the chest, right here, and he just drops it. I don't want to name no names, but shout out to my boy E-Rob. But JB, that's exactly what happened on this 4th and 5. Diego Pavia delivers a beautiful throw on a drive where they're driving down the field, potentially going down and scoring, only going down one score, and maybe possibly setting up a game winning drive for him. And there's a little bit of Butterfingers, but I was a little bit pissed that they didn't play him more. I was frustrated. They played that Baylor kid, who he seemed to have struggled quite a bit. The offensive line looked kind of shitty whenever he was in, but maybe that was just him not being able to create stuff outside the pocket, which is kind of where Diego really shined, I thought, this weekend. But kudos to him, man. I wonder how his draft stock is going to look here in the next couple weeks, but we'll follow his story as we go as we move forward, especially when we get closer to the draft. That's going to be fun. That's gonna be fun. How deep in the woods are you with the draft? When do you lock in? I know we have a couple friends that really dive into to the draft. You told me you had a cousin or a brother-in-law. I think not a brother-in-law, a cousin hut, whatever. Someone that they get a couple friends together, and you guys tell me, do you find this odd? Do you find this weird? Or do you want to say this? Do you want to say
I mean, it comes down to taking a week off of work, getting the draft board ready, and having that, pretty much predicting, having everybody's got their own mock draft. And it's pretty crazy to think of when of all these players and where they might end up, So it can get pretty crazy. Some of these draft parties, with some of the college football faithful, the loyal college football guys, they know a lot more when it comes to, the game and all the players. For me, it's the first couple rounds, a few players here and there. First round, you have more idea of guys that could possibly be first round and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, it gets pretty crazy. So,
yeah,
uh,
I'm a big
yeah.
first round, second round guy. But there's some people that are in the weeds. Earl, who will be coming on to the show throughout the off season to kind of educate us on what to expect in the draft. He gets deep into it. He does a couple mock drafts. He does them specifically for the Green Bay Packers, but he will dance around, mess around, and give me a little bit of advice. So we'll have him come on and kind of break down a couple teams. That'll be fun. But yeah, JB, is that crazy? You guys let us know. Is that crazy to take an entire week off to host a draft week to set up mock drafts with a couple of the boys? Or is that just boys being boys? I mean, how beautiful is that though? It's like you always see that meme that goes like uh he's out there cheating on me with the boys, and in reality it's just the boys chalking up a couple mock drafts together.
Yeah,
That that's hilarious. I'd
exactly.
love to go to that just to see like what the interaction with each other is like. It's got to be serious. Like, I wonder if these boys are showing up in suits. JB, are we showing up? I wonder if they're showing up suit and tie. Do they have like a? Do they have are we all kind of dressing in the same polo? Do we look like one team? Are we all in the same athletic suit? Maybe we got the Adidas top with the Adidas bottom, the Adidas shoes. Like, are we all coming in looking like one team, one sound, hitting it like Drumline and Nick Cannon? Is that what you think? That's what's going on, or it's just the boys showing? Like, what do you think, JB? They walk in and they all kind of have like their own NBA walk-in entrance
I
to the
really,
locker room type deal, or am
I,
I
re-
over? Am I getting a little too excited here?
you might be looking at two. I don't know. It's a little undisclosed
You
at
didn't
this
you
point.
didn't ask enough questions.
I
You
don't
didn't
know.
ask enough questions.
Yeah, those are questions I don't want to ask or know. Like if it's
Yeah.
that deep, but
I don't want the buddies thinking don't
y-
is that
you know,
that
I
might they might look at you a little, "Huh?
yeah. So
Why are we asking those questions?"
I think they just rep their favorite
JB,
like college teams, and then just go from there.
see, that's fire though. Like, I wonder if we're bringing out like OG. Like, is someone coming out to the OG, like an OJ Simpson college football jersey? Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm curious about, JB. I would like to. It would be nice to interview one of those guys. Maybe we reach out to one of them. Maybe we reach out to the GM of that whole thing and just see what their whole setup is like. Because as soon as you told me, that was like the first thing I was thinking about. And maybe that's a little. Maybe that's the host in me, the daily show host in me that wants to ask these random questions. But I am curious to know, like, how are we walking in? Do we have our AirPods in, or do we have the big headphones? What song are we jamming as we're walking into the Airbnb? Like, what's the prep before the actual prep of the NFL draft? Maybe I'm being dramatic there, but
Yeah.
that's those are the answers that I think I need answered from you, JB. So let's reach out to Buddy and let's see. Let's find out a little more about the boys' night. But the Patriots had their send off to California, and let's just go over a couple things that happened there, JB. JB, what do we got going on here in about 10 minutes? We're gonna go wide receiver top 10. Yeah, are we ready for that? Are you nervous? Did you
No.
did you did you prep? Did you talk yourself maybe into moving one piece from maybe number 1 to number 3? I know yesterday in the group chat, Cheech was like, "Oh, we already know who his number 1 is," and then I thought to myself, it might be JSN, because if it is the guy who I think would be his number 1, but if the guy this year did better with the same quarterback, would he be number 1? I don't know. We'll find out here in about 10 minutes there, JB. But let's go over the send off from Patriots Nation as they send their Super Bowl team to California. This is a couple things here. Here's Braves.
Come out and play! Listen, this is beyond my wildest dreams for the fans to have embraced us in this first year of this program the way that you have. I said all along, if our players played up to the standard that you guys expected and the effort in which they would play and their style of football, you would come out. And come out you did, so thank you.
Little Drake May here.
Yeah.
A little nervous.
First
Drake
off,
May,
man,
huh?
I just want to thank you guys. You guys have been great all season, man. We wouldn't be here without you guys. What a journey, and we still have work left to do. Shout out to these guys. Love you guys. Celebrate when we get back. Go Pack.
I want to say a huge shout out to our fans, Pats Nation. Y'all did a great job. We got one more to go. For everybody that's traveling, travel safe. Hey, man, it's time to get after, man. We all we got. We all we got. We all we got.
How about Coach Mike Vrabel and the culture he created? And all the great players, and I'm not going to name anyone because this is truly a team. How about
How about Coach Vrabel? What do you think about the little send off from New England? Do you think it's am I looking too into it? It feels like we're celebrating a little too early. We're kind of counting our chickens before they hatch. It feels like this is almost a celebration rather than motivation. Am I off here?
Why do you think it's a celebration?
I mean, look at it. Like I don't know if you watched more of the clips, but like even the Holland clip, I wish I had that one. Jay, I'm not sure if you had that one. Maybe we could share it. But he comes out, like I guess it's just a hype show. This all right. I need to step back. This is just a hype show. They're getting the crowd excited for what's to come this weekend. But to me, it's like I don't know. I haven't seen. Maybe it's just because I haven't seen that kind of stuff from the Seahawks. So it's just like it seems like McDonald's got them boys dialed in, focused on one thing and one thing only. Like there's nothing to celebrate because we haven't accomplished the goals that we want to accomplish. So whenever you look at the Patriots, you almost think to yourself, like, boys, let's act like we've been here. You've been here. This organization's been here 12 times, 11 times with Robert Kraft. And we're doing a send off celebration. It just seems a little unusual from the New England Patriots. Or Jay, maybe am I wrong? Is this something that happens every time you guys get to the Super Bowl, or is this just is this something new to you guys? Jay, what's the feel on that? Jay fell asleep.
I think it's fine. I don't see no issue with it. You send it off. You bring the fans in. Um, it just helps. I think it just helps. Gets the guys adrenaline going a little bit anytime you're in front of the fans like that. So I think it's a good thing. I don't see nothing negative about it.
You like it?
They do it every
Oh,
time.
Jay said they do it every time, Jay?
Yeah, they do it every time they have a send off rally.
Oh, okay. All right, all right, all right. My bad. I didn't my fault. Jay, how we feeling about these boys? It's Super Bowl week. What is the Patriots fan feeling like right now?
Pep rally. Yep.
Uh, Pretty good. I feel like it's a coin toss.
Well,
I
I
really
mean,
don't see
it's
it
very
being a blowout.
enthusiastic.
But
He's more confident behind. He's more confident when we're not live.
Yeah, here
He's
at
like, nah, yeah,
7:35.
what?
Drake May boy. No,
Yeah.
it's all good. You know what's crazy is people thinking that the Patriots have absolutely no chance, which that's kind of been the chatter around this whole thing. The Super Bowl is like, it's like the Patriots don't have a chance. The Patriots, it's the weather, it's the schedule, it's like all these excuses of how New England has got here, and it seems like we're bypassing the fact that this offense, when it does get hot, it does look great. But obviously, we can only go based off of what we've seen recently. And I mean, Drake May hasn't looked great, but like you've said about Jalen Hurts, JB, Drake May has done exactly what has been asked of him. Obviously, had that bad game against Houston in extremely bad weather, wasn't able to really take care of the ball. But by the blessings of the Lord, somehow they were able to jump on a bunch of those fumbles and keep possession. But then the one thing that stood out to me the most is like, how are they going to handle that game against Denver, especially after all those turnovers or all those potential turnovers? It's like, will Drake May be able to get out of his head and take care of the ball? And that's exactly what he did in Denver. So I expect him to do exactly as Rabel says, protect the ball and allow your defense to keep you in a game. And if this game's close, I'll tell you what, man. If this game is close, I think I like New England. I'm not quite sold. I haven't quite sold myself on New England just yet, but this is where I'm at as of Monday. If the game is close, I'm taking New England. I think if Seattle wins, it's got to be in blowout fashion. That's kind of where I'm at right now. What do you think about that take?
I think the over under right now and for Vegas is like what 45 and a half or 48 and a half, something like that. I don't
For you
think it's
talking
going to
about the
be
over
I think
under?
yeah, on the over under. I think it's going to be in the 20. I think it's going to be like a possession game most of the time. I would say like 27-20. That's how I feel. That's how I feel Seahawks win. Something
45 and a
like
half.
that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so 45 and a half. So I mean, you could easily lock in the under because it's going to be a defensive game, I think. And of course, every Super Bowl starts off kind of slow. Like both teams, a lot of nerves. You got to settle into the game a little bit. Like, unless a team just comes out firing, I
Will
don't
it
know.
make you nervous if Seattle comes out slow? because they've kind of came out hot throughout the playoffs, right? In San Francisco, they obviously start off with the kick return against against the Rams. What they get the lead early, um, and then now, I mean, even in the season against San Francisco, I mean, they started hot right off the bat. Like, you wonder if this team starts off slow, do you become a bit nervous if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan? Because we haven't. I mean, when's the last time you remember seeing the Seattle team play from behind?
Yeah, I can't remember the last time that's happened really, unless they're going back and forth. But they haven't been down in a game in months. I don't think so. If they're starting off slow, I would believe that the Patriots are starting off slow too. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
don't see.
but we've seen what the Patriots look like in a slow start. We've seen what the Patriots look like in an extremely tight game. Not that we haven't seen one. Obviously, that Rams game was a tight one, so we could use that as an example. But like the Patriots were down, right? We saw them down against Denver. We saw them down against the Chargers, and they were able to kind of overcome and take over in the second half. I mean, and define taking over, right? Because it was a close
But
game,
look at
but
what the other
they
team's
were
putting
able
up.
to.
You said the
Say it again.
Chargers. You said You look at what the other teams are putting up. You said the Chargers. They put up 3 points all game. You said
Yeah.
the Broncos. They put up 7 points all game. Like that's the type of game that it would have to be for I think the Patriots to. It's going to have to be a really low scoring game, 20-17, 17-14. Like that is more Patriot style, like grinding out the full thing of the game. And I just don't think there's a defense in the league that could hold the at least what's remaining. And I don't think the Patriots can hold the Seahawks for 4 quarters under 17, under 20 points. And if they do, say Seahawks put up 24, I would expect the Patriots to be about 14, 17, maybe 20, something like that, 24-20. Like that's it could if there's a team like I guess at the end of the day, if you're talking about if there's a team that could blow out somebody, the Seahawks have a way better chance of blowing out the Patriots than the Patriots have at blowing out the Seahawks. We've seen
Yeah.
blowouts from the Seahawks this year. We haven't seen no blowouts from the Patriots this year. You know, so they obviously you
Well,
play who's on your schedule, this and that. But when the opportunities came, I don't think we've seen any blowouts from the Patriots in that sort of sense. Maybe a couple 14-point wins, maybe. I don't even remember. But for the Seahawks, we've seen multiple blowouts this year. We just saw one a couple weeks back, with the 49ers. So,
yeah.
I
Well,
think
um,
all right, so
just
lock in the Seahawks.
yeah.
Lock
Well,
in the
to end the season, they beat the Dolphins 38-10. Before that, they beat the Jets 42-10. I mean, they've had blowouts against bad teams, so I guess that goes to the
I guess we've
schedule. The
seen those.
schedule. It's the easiest schedule in the week. My only thing is like if it, if we're looking at this Patriots side, sure, we look at the Chargers. The Chargers only put up 3 points offensively, right? And then you look at the Texans only putting up 16, and then the Broncos only putting up 7. My thing is like they were in these games with terrible offensive play. Like they didn't have very good offensive play whatsoever. Now, did the weather factor into it? Definitely, for sure. That's why to me, it's one of those like unknowns. Like we've seen how high powered this offense looks, we've seen glimpses of how great it can be. Now it's just like a matter of it's like a matter of time. Like, all right, are we going to see that Steph Curry third quarter explosion from this New England Patriots team, or is it just going to be the same crap that we've been seeing the last couple weeks? Which ultimately it comes down to like, is Drake May truly the MVP that we thought he was? Even if Matthew Stafford wins it, this is a good chance for Drake May to kind of stamp and kind of put an asterisk on Matthew Stafford's MVP if he comes out and has a day out there in San Francisco. But man, that shit's gonna be fun. But JB, let's move over to our top 10 NFL wide receivers. JB, where do you want to start at? You want to start at number 10?
Nope, we'll start at number one.
We're gonna start from the bottom up. That's crazy. No anticipation, no drum roll, no. Should
Nope,
we
because we
start
got to
maybe
get
at 5 then?
we got to get into the debate. Got to get into the
All right.
debate.
Can we just start at 5?
Sure. I
All
mean,
right,
not
give me your
really.
number 5.
Start at one. Start at one,
Well,
and then
listen,
I'll say my facts about each one.
Wait. Okay, no, just give me. All right, give me your top 5. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Let's start with number 5, though. Let's start with number 5. Let's go down to number
All
1.
right.
Just give
Number
me the
5.
names. You don't have to give me. You don't
All
have
right.
to give me an explanation until after. So
All
let's
right.
give me your number 5. Who's at number 5 here?
Number 5, we're gonna put Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 5.
All right, St. Brown at number 5. Jay, if you can add this to the ticker, we'd be grateful for that. Okay, number 5. Who do we got at number 4 here?
Number 4, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Jackson. What? At number Okay. At number
Yep.
4 is crazy.
No, it's
Are
not.
we Hey, hold on. Let me pause you real quick. Are we going all time? Like this is like are we going based off the season?
Um,
Because
I'm
we need some
going based
clarity
off
there
the
for
whole
sure.
body of work. I'm going off of this season. Like I don't know. Like it's what I've seen this season, because then I would have to put
Okay.
it's this, not only this season, but I feel like it's the whole body of work. I
Okay.
feel like it's a little bit of
That
both.
was
Like it just
I
can't be this season, just because
because I want to put Jet at number 1. I understand.
I would still put Jet at number 1, even after the season. This
Go
season alone.
Go ahead. Go
Number
go
3,
ahead. 3.
Jamar Chase.
Chase is on the case. Okay. Number 2.
Puka.
And then number 1, CD Lamb,
Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. Okay. Now let's explain number 1. Let's start off with number 1. Let's explain
All
number
right.
1
So
because I did
obviously,
throw it into the group chat. Cheech kind of hinted you were going to say Jetta at number 1, and immediately I thought, like, if he's number 1, why isn't JSN above him? Considering they both played with Sam Darnold, and you look at the numbers that they had, and JSN seems to be slightly above Justin Jefferson with how he performed with the same quarterback, almost similar
that's
teams.
great.
You could argue.
That's great. So the reason why Jefferson is number 1, and why he will be still number 1 for, I don't know, the next upcoming years, I feel like, is because, first of all, he's double teamed 54% of the time. The next closest guy to being double teamed at like 48%. I don't remember who it is when I was looking at my stats. It's compared to Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is ranked 13th when it comes to double teams. Um, Justin Jefferson is by far the most double team player, maybe of even all time. I don't know, 54% of your routes run is being double coveraged. That's pretty crazy. He still put over 1,000 years, having the lack of quarterback play. When Carson Wentz was in the game, Jefferson was at about 95 yards a game, which was pretty solid. When McCarthy was playing this year, that's where the issues came. 54 yards a game really brought down his numbers, but he still put over 1,000 yards. 6 straight seasons. The only 2 other wide receivers to have at least 6 straight seasons of 1,000 yards or more, Mike Evans and Jerry Rice. So you can even say before this year that Justin Jefferson was on pace to be the greatest receiver of all time, statistically, like up there with Jerry Rice,
Yeah.
like passing all that. So I can't take that away from him just because he had one bad quarterback issue this year. So I don't know if that changes this yet next year, but I'm optimistic that whatever Minnesota does, it's going to be to please Justin Jefferson. So whether that's having McCarthy on a short leash, bringing in a veteran QB, making a big splash move for a QB, something like that's going to happen. So Jefferson, and to say another thing why I think Jefferson, if any of these other receivers were in this situation, I think there would have been a more talk. We see what AJ Brown says. We see what some of these diva wide receivers do when they don't get the ball. Jefferson did not complain. He still was there. For his QB, he was still an ultimate team player. So at the end of the day, Jefferson's number 1. He can do it all just as good, if not better than anybody in the entire league when it comes to the full package. So Jefferson, number 1.
So you're saying
Number
if Justin
2,
Jefferson was with the Seattle Seahawks, we'd be seeing the same exact thing.
I feel like it. Yeah. I mean, why not? I don't see why not. So I think the production would be there. Everything would still be there. I think Jefferson last year still put up, I don't know his stats from last year. I think it was like 1,600 yards possibly. Still
I
had
got
great
you.
numbers.
He had 84 receptions for 1,048 yards.
That's this year.
Yeah, this
That
past year.
that's this year with McCarthy. I'm talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
year
yeah.
before with
Oh,
Darnold.
Sam Darnold. I got you. Let me look real quick. I'll tell you. Hold on. Let's see. In 2024, Justin Jefferson was 103 receptions, 1,533 yards, and 10 touchdowns. He
1,500.
who was above him, Malik Neighbors, Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Amon St. Brown, and Jamar Chase. So in wide receivers, he was ranked top 3 in yards and receptions.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, he's been hanging around the top 3 for quite some time. I definitely think he's number 1. I couldn't agree with you more. The list that I have up here, JB, is this was the top 10 NFL wide receivers entering 2025. So to kind of argue your statement on where Justin Jefferson was. Now, where would you put Justin Jefferson as of this year, though? Would you still land him at number 1? I think that's where you're going to get pushback
I
on
think
where you say this is my top 10 and you have Justin Jefferson because you're almost going based off of the entire body of work rather than the 2025 season. So
I just
if we were just to sum it up for this one season, who would you say is the number 1 wide receiver performer?
I mean, this year when it comes to performance, obviously you put Puka and JSN up there. I mean, I you can't argue against that. They were the 2 best wide receivers this year. So for me, it's
Puka probably
I think Puka
Puka
beats out.
probably as a wide receiver had the best season, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I
statistically
think
and just like watch in the eye test, it's like this dude is making catches that I mean, we like you're almost surprised, and I don't know if that's because Buddy's white, so you kind of almost take a couple of the things that he does, and you're like, oh wow. But I mean, Puka's a freaking dog, right? Like this dude just goes out there, balls, and keeps it moving.
yeah,
129 receptions, 1,700, 1,715 yards, 10 touchdowns, 27 over 20 plus yards, and then he had 3 catches over 40 plus. His longest was 58-yard reception. Yeah, I wish. What a dog. Yards after catch. Most in the league, 667. It's actually 66, but I don't like that number put together. So we're just going to round it up to 7. So 667 yards
yeah,
after catch, the most in the league. That's insane. What a dog.
yeah. So that's why I Puka. I mean, for me, it's
That's why he got Puka at number 2.
that's
I
why I
got
put
you.
at number 2. For what he's done so far in his career, he's off to the same sort of trajectory that Jefferson has been in. I think he's not a guy that's going to blow you away with speed and things like that. I think he's just like a football player at the end of the day. Can do everything very well, has great hands, can run routes well. But yeah, I think as a complete receiver, I think you would put him at number 2, just based off of overall body of work that he's put into the game so far, and this year as well. So that's why I have him at number 2. Number 3, with Jamar Chase. He was affected a little bit by QBs this year, QB injury and everything like that with Burrow being out, but still putting up 1,412 yards. And 185 targets, 125 receptions. Crazy stats right there. I don't know how many touchdowns he had, but
Jamar?
Jamar, yeah, total
Yeah, I
touchdowns,
got you. I got you, my boy. He had 8.
8 total touchdowns. So, I mean, still putting up good numbers, and that's with shaky quarterback play all year. I mean, Joe Flacco did help him out a lot. Obviously, when Burrow came back, it's like right in the
Yeah, man. There was one. I mean, if we go down the season, there was at one point where we're like, man, Jamar Chase may request a trade. They're down so bad out there in Cincinnati, and then they make that trade for Joe Burrow, and all of a sudden the offense wakes up and kind of gets back to where it was. They could have maybe gotten into the playoffs. They were able to squeak out a couple of those games. Their defense definitely left them out to dry or to die. And damn, man, yeah, you look at that Bengals team, and it's like, what are they going to be next year? What are they going to be next year? Are they going to be able to address some of the issues that they had defensively? And that was one of the, we talk about a lot of folks talk about Jerry Jones and his antics, and you start to look at some of these other organizations and realize they kind of do the same shit. They're kind of doing the same stuff, right? Like think about Cincinnati Bengals got Joe Burrow, and the whole thing in the offseason was the conversation about Trey Hendrickson. Do you remember that? They were like, are we going to re-sign him? Are we going to trade him? They kind of just played it back and forth until the season started. They brought in absolutely no help for Joe Burrow on the defensive side of the ball, nor have they really addressed the offensive line. Or I guess they somewhat have. They've brought in players, they just haven't quite they haven't quite developed like you would have expected. I wonder how much of that you actually put on the coaching staff. But as far as like from a ownership perspective, I'm gonna assume that they're going to try to make some moves to bring in some help to help out that defense, because the last thing you want is to trot out exactly what they did this past year. I mean, they did the same thing the Dallas Cowboys did and relied on their quarterback to carry them into the playoffs and hope that somehow they lucky themselves into a Super Bowl. But ultimately, we got exactly what we thought we were going to get. Whenever your defense is giving up over 30 points a game, it's going to be hard to win a lot of games in those situations. So looking forward to see what the Cincinnati Bengals do this offseason. But Jason at number 4, go ahead. What? Obviously, I
Jason.
mean, you just watch dude play, and
Yeah, I
how
think
much how much of that how much of Jason's success is a product of his surroundings? I mean, because you got Cooper Cup and Shaheed. I know Shaheed was a late season addition, but that's definitely got to open up the field for him to be able to kind of do whatever he wants.
well, here's the thing, like, obviously, like, Jason came out kinda towards the second half of his rookie year last year, the year before this, year, and you were like, "Okay, he's got
That
potential
was
to
with Gino.
possibly be a number 1 receiver." This year, I mean, you don't really have anybody like you bring in Cooper Cup towards the end of his career, not the same receiver he was a few years back. So like JSN was the focal point of that offense. I think next year you're going to see a lot more double teams. You're going to see a lot more teams take him away. This year was really his breakout year. So once the off season comes out, I think his numbers are going to drop a little bit for next year. For sure. I don't think he's going to repeat the process. He had 1,793 yards. I fully believe he's going to be the offensive player of the year this year. He led the league, like I said, with receiving yards and everything like that. So and first team All Pro. So I think he is offensive player of the year. Um, Now I think going into the offseason, how teams are going to scheme it, I think his numbers will drop next season, kind of like that Justin Jefferson role. He's going to get double team more and more, bracket coverage, everything like that. So he was the focal point. I don't think there's much help like it's a big drop off, I think, from this year from JSN. You have JSN up here. Cooper Cup is not a 1B or anything like that. And then Shaheed, he's kind of a deep threat guy, the quick screen guy, the guy that you give the ball to and he'll make something happen. So I don't think JSN had a bunch of help around him, compared to like Jefferson last year. You get Hawkinson, you got Addison, you had a couple guys like that. So I just don't think he had the receiving talent around him. JSN just took off, and I think that's going to change. Possibly, I mean, we could see something in this game where they take away Jason. Like Christian Gonzalez is going to follow him all over the field. They might do some bracket coverage,
Yeah,
safety
what a
over the top
matchup.
help. Like there's going to be a lot of ways to try to take this guy away. So who else is going to beat you? That's if I'm the Patriots, that's the game. That's kind of the game plan that I go in with. Like we need to kind of take this guy out of the game plan and get these other guys to beat us. So that's why I have Jason at number 4, just because he's only done it for one season, really. And we got to see what happens after that. But he's a great route runner, great hands, has good speed. So that's for me, fourth seems fair. Fourth best right now in the
Yeah,
league.
yeah, yeah.
That seems fair to me. So and then of course at number 5, um, snuck in Amon-Ra St. Brown right there. Um,
Who was the 5'6", 5'6", 5'6"? Who was that?
It was kind of a 5, 6, and 7. So that 5, 6, and 7, I think Amon Ra has been the most consistent at 5, so that's why I put him at 5. 6 and 7 for me was AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb.
All right, so I'm gonna put CD at 6 because I'm
Okay, it
assuming
was
that's where
AJ
you got
Brown
him.
at 6 and CeeDee Lamb at 7. just to be fair. I can't for a guy that drops the ball as much as CeeDee Lamb, I can't put him at over AJ Brown.
You not see AJ Brown? Did you not watch
In
him in
one
the
game.
playoffs? Huh?
That was one
Come
game.
on, mate.
That
The
was one
biggest
game. We've
game.
seen multiple. What was CeeDee Lamb was ridiculed as a rookie his first like 2 years in the league for drop
Yeah.
passes. This year in big games, I mean, not even big games. I mean, they're just regular season games
Yeah,
too.
big games.
I
Divisional
mean,
games against
divisional
Philly.
games.
Two that possibly costed us games and maybe costed us the playoffs. So yeah, I get okay. All right, let me move that.
Yeah,
I
so
got you.
he
That was
hasn't
a
earned
take.
that right
I
yet.
like that. You're
He hasn't
right.
earned that
Take that
right.
away from him.
So,
Okay.
like I said, so Amon Ra at 5. I put
Most
AJ Brown
consistent,
at
which I
6.
like that.
Number 7, CeeDee Lamb. Number 8, this is where it kind of gets a little bit dicey for me. 8, I put in Garrett Wilson at number 8. He doesn't have a quarterback. This guy, like, we've seen him make highlight plays. He had a pretty good season with Aaron Rodgers, even though that whole thing was like a debacle with the Jets like 2 years ago. For me, I don't know if I'm kind of putting potential on that. But Garrett Wilson, like he can kind of do it all. He's got great hands, great route runner, physical guy, and can make 50-50 catches, everything like that. So for me, I put him at number 8. And then at number
Garrett
9,
Garrett Wilson reminds me of you remember when whenever D Hop went through that phase of he had like Matt Schaub, who else was out there? I mean, you remember that like carousel of quarterbacks in Houston. That's kind of
yeah,
what Garrett Wilson's going through. So shout out to you for putting a little respect on Garrett Wilson's name because it did immediately remind me of DeAndre Hopkins. And I remember at the time we used to have conversations about whether or not DeAndre Hopkins was in the top 10. And then when you start to look at it, it's like, damn, this dude's still putting up numbers. This dude's still getting touchdowns, and he's had about 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks within like a 3 to 4 year span. So shout out to
exactly,
you for acknowledging Garrett Wilson. But go ahead, what's at number 9?
exactly. Number 9, I squeaked in another guy, Chris Olave. I think
Our boy,
yeah, when he had some
our
competent
concussion boy.
QB
Man, we
play,
were praying for Buddy at like
yeah,
week 4 about these concussions that he was getting.
I
But I'm
know.
sorry, JB. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, he's got the concussions and everything like that. The concussion history, man. He's just on the wrong side
Poor
of
kid.
bad plays. But I think
Being a dog.
now with what's going on with Tyler Shuck and what he's brought to this team, it really opened up Olave's game. Like I think this was the year for him to put it together. For me, like I was thinking about like Drake London, Olave, putting those guys in there, but it's like for Drake London, I don't know if he had quite the breakout. He had a good season, but I think Olave kind of outplayed him this year based on the circumstances. And so I like Olave at number 9. I think he's only going to get better with him and Shuck, if he stays in New Orleans. And then at number
Mhm.
10, who I snuck in there, I mean, these are all kind of debatable, but I put Nico Collins at 10. So I know he's
Mm.
injury riddled, but I mean, you look at Nico and his stature, like as a receiver, like he was kind of the Puka before Puka came in. A guy that was very hard to tackle, aggressive with the ball, could make a lot of catches, had a big catch radius, could win the 50-50 balls like Puka, but he was hard to tackle. So he had a lot of yak after, yards after catch. So for me, it's just his injuries that have kind of held him back, poor quarterback play, few things like that. So for me, I snuck Nico Collins at 10, debatable, for sure. But yeah, that's where it kind of gets choppy. And then before we get into like any kickback on that, a couple of honorable mentions, not in specific order, but you have T. Higgins, George Pickens, and a couple other guys you could throw in there too, like a Devontae Smith, Jordan Addison. I
See,
think
I guess that's where my argument would be is I think I would put Pickens at 10.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Like, yeah, Pickens had that good stretch without CeeDee Lamb, but it's like his whole mental. Like, I'm not gonna put a guy in the top 10 who runs lazy routes, who doesn't put effort in. It's obvious on certain plays that he's not trying. I can't put a guy in right there that's costing your team. Like, that's not a team player. That's not somebody that you can ride with when times are tough. I don't feel like so. That's why I just
Yeah.
can't put him in top 10.
My only pushback would be like, okay, if that's the perspective that we're gonna take, because let's not forget George Pickens also did struggle holding on to the ball. If you watch George Pickens run, sometimes you're kind of like, yo, let's protect the ball. We're a little too loosey goosey with it. He had 4 fumbles after receptions this past season, but like if that's the perspective we take, like the best ability is availability, and that's the one thing that Nico Collins struggles with the most. So I would take George Pickens over Nico Collins at the 10 spot because of that specific statement of availability is the best ability, and George Pickens has shown that he can be available when it matters most. So I think that's where I would give you a little pushback there. What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty fair. Um,
Fair enough for you to make that move.
possibly.
Now you ask yourself,
It's
Dak Prescott
debatable.
had 2 top 10 wide receivers, and we didn't make the playoffs. Interesting. Well, I'll mind my business, but
You could
whatever.
say,
I do
yeah,
like that. What else? What honorable mentions? Higgins, Pickens. What else?
T. Higgins, Pickens. You could put Devontae Smith up there. Um,
But then now we're getting into top. Who's the top 2, or
15. Yeah, like you get into the number
who's
two
the
guys.
best B wide receivers? Yeah.
Yeah, 15, 20 in that area. Even you can throw in Jordan Addison in that 15, 20 area, 15 area. Um,
Christian Watson.
no, no. Christian
What?
Watson, no, no.
Why?
What has he done? Like, no, he's not available. He's a piece of glass. All that we've kind of seen him known for is the deep ball.
Huh?
He hasn't really developed on all of his routes and things like that. He's got a little bit of progress this year finally, but it's nowhere near a 15, 20 guy. I don't think so. Maybe you can sneak him in around the 20 spot, maybe, but yeah, that's it's really debatable for me. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know
obviously
he
you throw in for me, it's
was there.
Brian Thomas Jr. I didn't even say that name. You can throw in Zay Flowers. Those are all guys.
You think
Devontae Smith. I mean
Brian
Devontae
Thomas
Adams.
Jr. might be the biggest underperformer?
Who?
Brian Thomas Jr. As far as like
He might be.
expectations,
Yeah,
he might
yeah.
be you might put him like on like the most disappointing season list. Like if you had a
You
top
could.
5 worst performers this year, as far as like what expectations were, Brian Thomas Jr. is definitely up there in the top
That's
3. And
you
that's not
could
a
say
shot
that
at him. It's just that the ceiling for him is so high and he didn't quite meet
thing.
that.
You could say that, but like the first 8 weeks of the season, they really struggled. It was not only him, but it was also Trevor Lawrence. They had trouble getting on the same page. The second half of the season, during Trevor Lawrence's run, everything changed. Brian Thomas, his drops went away. The big plays were there. Everything kind of turned. So it was through half the season you had the struggles, but then it turned around during the team winning streak. I
Yeah.
think a lot of stuff
Brian
turned around.
Thomas Jr. on the
So
season, 48 receptions, 707 yards with 2 touchdowns. Sorry, JB, just wanted to
yeah,
put out his
so
numbers there.
definitely disappointing, but I think a lot of that production came in the second half of the season. You can also throw Lad McConkey, possibly Jameson Williams. Um, Trying to look at a couple other guys. Malik Neighbors, of course, when he's healthy, like just the skill set in general, like and then what he did his rookie year. I mean, was one of the top leading receivers his rookie year. Drake London, yeah, Drake London. I like that.
Keon Coleman was the most disappointing, huh?
Keon Coleman, but he's never. That's from a potential standpoint. Potential, you know.
Yeah,
He has
but when you think
we've seen
that
flashes.
when you think about the Bills organization not making any moves because of what your expectations were of a gentleman that you drafted, like, man, talk about an absolute bust as of right now. I just pulled up Christian Watson's numbers. Obviously, he missed like the majority of the season, but had 35 catches, 611 yards, and 6 touchdowns, which is by far a lot better than some of these guys we just named. But that's neither here nor there, JP.
Look up the full body of
I do.
work.
Yeah.
He's
No,
just
yeah,
that
for
guy.
sure. I like Christian Watson. It's just like you said. I mean, like we said, availability is the best ability, and Christian Watson has yet to it seems like he has yet to put a whole season together. So I do look
Yeah.
forward to see what that Green Bay Packers team looks like this next year, with Micah Parsons coming back and kind of them just kind of getting healthy. I wonder if you wonder if that's going to be one of those teams that really does make some noise, or maybe they're one of the teams that kind of falls off, right? We always have a team every year that kind of comes out of nowhere, and then you also have a team that had a lot of success, and then coming out the next year, they're the Washington Commanders of such. That's the first team that comes to my head. But
Yeah.
yeah, what I do like your list, JB. I do like your list. So we're gonna go with 1 Jetta, 2 Puka, 3 Chase, 4 Jason, 5 St. Brown, 6 CD Lamb. Oops, sorry, 6 AJ Brown, 7 CD Lamb, and that is because of the drops, according to JB. 8 Garrett Wilson, 9 Chris Olave, 10 Nico Collins, and right behind Nico Collins in a battle was George Pickens. I do like that. I think I would put George Pickens at 10. I might even move up George Pickens above Chris Olave. I think as far as just like straight skill, I think you would put George Pickens a little higher than, I think you'd probably put him right there with AJ Brown and CD Lamb. But I do get where you're coming from on the criticism of George Pickens' effort.
Yeah.
I would agree with you there. So
Yeah. And
that's a nice top 10 list, JB.
yeah, and as far as like that 10 to 20, I kind of named so 11 to 20. I named a couple guys off. I didn't even mention Tyreek Hill. Obviously, the injury and stuff like that, we don't know what's going to happen. But Jalen Waddle, 11 to 20 guy, I think you could put in there possibly. There's a lot of names before I would put, before some of the guys like Christian Watson for sure. So
Oh,
that's
Christian
just,
Watson just catching strays for
yeah,
no reason.
that's just, yeah,
I
you're a little too high on him, which is fine, but, you know.
No, yeah. Well, JB, there's a couple hires before we let these beautiful people off to work. Let's go over a couple of these hires real quick. The Arizona Cardinals hired Mike LaFleur, offensive coordinator, the gentleman under Sean McVay. Also, Matt LaFleur's little brother, offensive guru, as they say. Are you liking this hire for the Arizona Cardinals, or do you think this was just we didn't get Clint Kubiak, who Clint Kubiak is said to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders? But do you think for the Cardinals, this was kind of just like, damn, we didn't get Kubiak, so this is what we're settling on? Or do you think this is who they had their eyes on the entire time?
I feel like it's someone that they had their eyes on. It might have not been their first choice, but that's what I feel like. I feel like it just wasn't their first choice. I mean, when you're the last team to get your head coach spot filled in, you got to take what's left, you know.
Yeah.
So they like Mike LaFleur enough to bring him in, so it makes sense. I'm sure they would want Kubiak, but I never thought Kubiak was going to go to the Cardinals just because their whole QB situation. Like Kubiak's going to go to a spot where they're going to draft their rookie QB and then they're going to make the moves after that. And I just think there might be more potential, in Las Vegas for some of the pieces that they have. You have one of the best tight ends already, really good running back, so that's a good start. And then obviously you're going to have the first overall pick. Bring in Mendoza and build something from scratch right there. Then you can get the credit for it. You for that. You go into that situation with Kyler Murray, you don't know what's going to happen. So that sucks. I mean, it's kind of a hard job to take right there. You really don't
Yeah.
have no standout receiver besides Trey
They're
McBride.
starting so fresh. So fresh. Now you wonder if they trade Kyler Murray, what kind of draft assets they're going to bring in to be able to kind of I mean, just like the future looks blurry for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't even know how to spin it into a positive for them because it feels like it's going to be a complete blow up. So I guess if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, if you're a friend of mine and you enjoy watching Arizona Cardinals football, I think my message to you would be, have a little bit of patience. Trust the process. Trust that the organization is going to make a
They
few
put one
good
together.
decisions here in the next couple weeks. And if anything, you know, the LaFleur family has shown that they can have success and that they can build. We've seen Matt LaFleur move on from Aaron Rodgers, one of the toughest decisions from an organization of all time, you would say, right? Making the decision to let go of someone who had just won the MVP of the league and move on to your young guy. So we've seen that of the family tree now. Will that success go to the little brother as well? To be determined. But if I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan, I'm thinking to myself, okay, we got to be patient here. We can't expect nothing crazy next year. But next year, all we want to see is that a culture is being built. JB, cultures that are being built and also maybe possibly taken down. Caitlin Clark made her appearance on NBC with Peacock yesterday. Reggie Miller kind of the show was solid. It felt like more of an interview of where Caitlin Clark is and the WNBA and whatnot. And today's a massive day in the WNBA world. They are meeting with the women's basketball PA crew. They're negotiating a deal with the league. So let's see how that goes. Let's see if the WNBA players end up holding out and not playing until they get the deal that they're looking for, which is revenue share, I believe, which isn't a bad. I don't think that's a bad thing to negotiate, especially if the numbers are starting to go up. You just want the same percentage. You want a percent. They're fighting for a percentage, not necessarily equal pay as men, because that wouldn't make sense. But just for clarification, what they're looking for is a higher percentage of the revenue that's being gained from the association. But this was kind of hilarious, JB. Reggie Miller kind of hit her with a bit of a shot. They were asked who would he compare her to in the NBA, and this was Reggie Miller's response here.
Reminds you of the young lady to your right?
I like Peyton Pritchard from Boston, the way he's able to handle the basketball. He makes big shots when the shot clock's running down, a lot like this young lady right here. Isn't afraid to.
Well, Caitlin Clark was compared to
was
Peyton Pritchard,
very,
JB. What do
very
we think?
awkward.
Her face, bro. I genuinely felt bad for her. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Peyton Pritchard. He just kind of catches a shot out of nowhere. Big old smile. What the? What did you just compare me to? She thought he was about to say Steph Curry or like a Klay Thompson type player, and he said Peyton Pritchard. Gosh, bro. Talk about humble and experience, right? Caitlin Clark is
Yeah,
up here, and then you get slapped with Peyton Pritchard. That brings you okay. Got to
like
go to
that's
work. If I'm
that's
if I'm
pretty.
thinking Caitlin Clark's mentality, Mamba mentality, she hit the gym right after this, took the suit off, and said, I'm not Payne Pritchard. I am the Steph Curry. I am the Michael Jordan. I am the Kobe Bryant of the WNBA. How dare you? And she's just putting up shots after shot after. That's what I'm thinking happened after this clip here, JB.
Yeah, that's it's that's a pretty bad clip. Uh, I get it. Like maybe Reggie Miller was maybe a little bit more technical about it, like the actual play style. But like when it comes to like women's sports, dude, like I mean, she's making crazy threes. That's her game. Like changing that kind of bringing that culture to the game. So for me, it's like you might as well just call her Steph Curry. Make her feel good and like I don't know. I can't even say it's Steph. Like I get what Reggie Miller's probably coming from, more technical standpoint, like, but for the game, it's just I don't know, man. Oh, that sucks. That's a hard question for Reggie Miller to answer though, because he's going to take heat
Yeah,
from
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it's like
Well,
it
what's
sets up
crazy
Reggie
is
Miller, and then she don't like the answer. So
right,
that
like
feels
right before that,
disrespectful.
he's just glazing her, which is so like if you watch the full interview, or it felt like an interview, but if you watch the full thing, it's kind of like he's like glazing her, kind of setting her up, and then dropping that one. I think that's where you see the facial expression kind of change. Like imagine just being glazed up, being called the GOAT, being called the greatest shooter ever, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, yeah, Borba kind of plays. You know, he's got a lot of I can't think of a bad name right now. He's like Ben Simmons, great passer.
Yeah,
That would be an absolute shot.
that was kind of
Maybe
rough.
last thing before I do let everybody go, let's get one more laugh. This is Anthony Davis over the weekend playing NBA 2K. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my god.
No. He's even laughing. He's like, damn, I can't catch a break, not even on a video game.
Made of glass.
You know what's messed up is AD had injuries off in this video game, and he still somehow managed to get hurt, JB.
His dang, they must have his injury rating like up high for it to get blocked for it to make a block and get hurt while making a block. His
Well,
injury rating must be 95.
They just want to make it as realistic as possible, JB.
Yeah.
And then we'll end it with this one, JB. Jelly Roll on the Grammys yesterday delivered a message that I believe the world should hear. And I know we only have very few people joining the show, but I think they should hear it as well, JB. So let's end with this. You can hear.
No audio.
Chance, y'all. There was days that I thought the darkest things. I was a horrible human. There was a moment in my life that all I had was a Bible this big and a radio the same size and a 6x8 cell. And I believed that those two things could change my life. I believed that music had the power to change my life and God had the power to change my life. And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him. I love you, Lord.
You can hear me breathing.
What's up?
They're making fun of me for breathing in the comments. You can just hear me breathing on the mic.
JV getting lost.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Jelly Roll, man. Hey, shout out to Jelly Roll for taking that opportunity to shout out the one and only Jesus Christ. And with that being said, man, I hope everybody has a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of the week. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. Tomorrow, big college football day. We're going to have on Tim Foley, and we will also have Mr. Sean Ryder, beat writer for the UNM Lobos. Let's find out about this gentleman that the UNM Lobos signed. Will Jack Lane still be the quarterback for the UNM Lobos, or are we going to move on to this this young gentleman from Oregon? Will he come over and make a difference? Also, the UNM basketball team is creating some noise, JB. There's real buzz around the UNM Lobos basketball team, starting to make some headlines, starting to squeak their way into a little bit of ESPN's conversation. So we'll be able to get a little more information on that as we make our transition from the football world into all these other crazy sports that we got to follow up until we get back into football in September. So I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Don't forget, tomorrow, 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, Tim Foley, Sean Ryder will be joining the show. JB, I appreciate you. Jay in the back, appreciate you. Don't forget, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. See you.
Everybody